All right, so on the back of higher than expected margins in the September quarter, Infosys reported some really strong set of numbers. But on the contrary, CRISIL believes that the revenue growth of India Inc. is likely to decelerate in the second quarter due to whatever has happened, talking about the currency that has also decelerated. To discuss that particular report of CRISIL, we are now joined by Prasad Koparkar, Senior Director, Industry and Customized Research from CRISIL Research. Thank you so much, Mr. Koparkar, for joining us here on NDTV Profit. So you're saying that revenue growth is going to decelerate from double-digit growth that we saw in the first quarter. It will come down to 9 to 10%. What makes you say that? Because we have been speaking to a lot of corporates and they all have been quite optimistic about the second quarter.
Right. Well, I think 9 to 10% is not so bad. I mean, while on a quarter-to-quarter basis it looks a little lower, we are clearly seeing that things are improving, and for the full year we have a forecast which is much better than what we have seen in last year. And 9 to 10% is obviously, it's not across sectors. Across sector there are a couple of trends that I will talk about, but I think most importantly two things which are coming out is that compared to the earlier last 4 or 5 quarters, what we see is that it is definitely getting a little broad based, both in terms of sectors. So compared to earlier trends in terms of only export driven sectors like IT, pharma, etc. doing well, we are seeing the whole thing is getting broad based. There are other sectors which are participating like auto and industrials, and even the gap between the large and small and mid cap is kind of narrowing. So I think these are really positive trend. It tells you that the breadth of the market is definitely improving.
So the breadth of the market is improving, but when you're saying that from double-digit growth that we have been seeing specifically in the export-oriented sectors, which are the key sectors according to you which are likely to be the worst hit in this particular quarter?
Right. I think export-driven sectors will still do pretty well. So whether you look at IT, pharma, garments, etc., I think they will do still pretty well. We are expecting all these sectors to grow anywhere between 12 to 15%. The sectors which still are not participating are still deep domestic driven sectors linked to capex cycles. So construction, capital goods, coal, these are the kind of sectors which are still not growing or growing very, very marginally. But on the other hand, some of the industrial sectors like steel and cement, we are seeing a significant improvement than what we have seen in the past. For example, cement sector, we expect the top line to grow by about 17%, which is one of the highest that we have seen in recent times. This is aided by improvement in volume growth, which is going to go to about 5 to 6%, and 10 to 11% improvement in price. Similarly, steel, we are seeing improvement in volume as well as prices. Auto, clearly compared to the first few months of the financial year, both in commercial vehicle as well as in passenger vehicle, we are seeing significant traction.
So what's your outlook when it comes to the auto space in particular? The monthly sales figures that we have been getting, they have been quite encouraging and the momentum seemed to continue. So what's your outlook of the profitability of the auto space?
Right. Yeah, I think if you look at auto and auto component, our view is that auto component is clearly going to stand out in terms of improvement in both top line as well as margin. And the benefit for auto component is actually coming from two ways. One, that top line is improving and the raw material costs have significantly gone down. So if you really look at most of the materials, including metals, prices have been softer. As far as auto is concerned, what we see is that clearly passenger vehicle and heavy commercial vehicle, there is clearly an improvement in both top line and profitability.
Right.
However, if you see at tractors or two-wheelers, we believe there might be some pressure because tractor, clearly the volumes are still in negative territory.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Koparkar, for joining us here on NDTV Profit and giving us a perspective of how the sectors are going to do in the second quarter. So clearly, it's not going to be really bad. Let's cut across to the Infosys presser now, where